on the brink. These conversations are rooted in transformation. They're rooted in that moment, and so I always want to start out each podcast by asking you what you are on the brink of.
A lot of people like to say they're on the brink of being successful,
Mhm.
but what is anything can be successful. You went outside and picked up a leaf, you were successful for picking up
It's
that
very
leaf,
subjective.
right? So I'm on the brink of just making sure that I fully accomplish everything that made me happy
Yeah.
in life
Come on.
before I transcend to the
Yes.
next generation or whatever
The
I'm going to
next
turn into
plane.
the next plane,
The
the
next
next plateau.
plane.
Because
Yeah.
I kind of say, hey, we're the aliens. There's somebody else up there. They're just trying to figure us out. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Yes.
we're the real
This
aliens that are
is
out
this
here.
is a short amount of time if you believe in infinity is what I say.
Infinity,
This
yes.
is this is a very short, brief moment
Hmm.
in this human
This human form,
vessel,
yeah, this
this
vessel that
form,
we're using right
in
now.
this vessel. Like this is very very temporary, and so that next plane is going to be so much more, brother. But
Yeah,
you've had quite the incredible life,
right.
quite the story of a life, and you being recently released from prison after 15 years.
Well, it was actually 10 years that I
10.
did a
Got it.
straight 10.
Did a straight 10.
Look, 10, 15. Look, one day is already,
Yeah. I
hateful and enough
I could
already.
only imagine.
But it was 10 years that I did, and I was supposed to do 15 years, 8 months. It started off as 15 to life, and they had me up to 20 plus years. And then the judge was kind of like, you know what, looking at your criminal history, I'll give you this. So then we do the calculation when he says 188 months. And I'm sitting there like, 188?
That
Oh, this is nothing. I can do this. It's only half a
sure,
year.
sure.
And my lawyer's over there going, he's doing the division 12 divided by
Holy
188.
cow.
And then you really start thinking because 120 months, there's only 12 months, and you do 100, that's 10 years,
Yeah.
So you just start doing the math. And then when he tells me that, I'm like, really shocked.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to be gone for a minute.
So I want to start there because I think this is a beautiful story, and I think just me being able to have this presence with you and have this moment and be able to share this with my audience and
Yes.
and to give your voice more of an echo.
Thank you.
This is a part of the story that I'm just very adamant about telling, and so I want to know why were you in prison for 10 years, and how. I mean, I guess it's more starting at how old are you? I mean, because I'm seeing you paint the courtroom so vividly,
Right.
and I'm imagining a very 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 young man.
Well, not young. Well, I was at that age where, especially being African American again, I was 35 years old
Yeah.
when I got.
That's a very young man.
Yeah, so you're still kind of still making your decisions on what you're going to
Yes.
do, and listen, I'm going to tell this to everyone. At no point am I trying to glorify uh, what I did and how I did it.
Mm.
I did a crime, and I will admit to the crime that I did. Um, and I the time just didn't fit the crime that they gave me.
So what was the crime?
So the crime was I was intent to distribute over 500 grams of substance, methamphetamine. Everybody thinks it's marijuana because at that time I was smoking a lot of marijuana. But listen, everybody, it's not marijuana. I jumped into the methamphetamine game. But I didn't actually jump into it because I just had some friends. Listen, I lived in Hollywood at that time in East Hollywood, Los Feliz. I worked for the corporate office of Bank of America at the time.
Okay.
I had a great apartment. I was living life to
Yeah.
the fullest. Kind of like I went from the suburbs to move to the city. I'm living in Hollywood. This is
Yeah.
it. This is where everybody wants to be at.
Yeah.
And I just had, I dilly dallied in a lot of things besides taking advantage of working at Bank of America.
Sure.
I mean, that's a funny story in itself because when I got the job, I never forget, I walked in to do the job and they're like, Joshua? And I'm like, yeah, me.
Mhm.
And they're like, yeah, Joshua Keldren. Oh, and they look at me because they think that I'm Caucasian.
Sure.
Because they did the phone interview.
Yeah. Oh,
and they're
yeah.
thinking that I'm Caucasian. I'm saying the
We've all
correct
been
words
there.
and blah, blah, blah,
We've
blah,
all
blah,
been
right?
there, of course.
So then
brother.
when they see me, they're like, oh. So it kind of works on both sides. You know, they're kind of like, well, wait a minute. We got a black dude that speaks good English.
Oh, goodness.
Let's add him to the team.
Oh,
and that's how
man.
I got on there. And, you know, so.
And so they always go for the diversity hire. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, look, he's black, but he can.
So
the tokenism.
So
it's the tokenism.
It's the tokenism. We needed him. We need him. So I had a great job. It's not like I was dealing drugs all my life. I worked, you know, and I love corporate America. You know, I'm all about corporate America. And this is say I just got. Listen, I'm a Gemini, so my
talk about it. Talk about it. What's your mood? What's your rising now? Look, we will get the whole chart by the end of the podcast.
I'm a Gemini, and sometimes my other identities, they just like, we're gonna do this and we don't care. You know it's not right, but we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And that particular guy, our ego, said, "Hey,
ego,
let's do this. It's going to be real simple. All you got to do is be the middleman and connect A with B, and you collect the cash." But as we all know, if it's that easy, the penalty is going to be
really high. The risk is
because nothing like
crazy.
that is easy, and that's the things your parents and your elders will always tell you.
Yeah.
Work hard, stay focused. You know, nothing comes easy.
Yeah.
Don't cheat. You know, don't cheat the system. That's what we're always taught when we were younger. But then, you know, the drug game came along, which our government brought to us anyway, and you start to see that money. You start to see. You know, you want that. You want the dope car. You want the fat chains. You want everything that you see on TV.